Hello, I'm Dylan.
And I'm Keon.
And this is Trust Your Doctor, that podcast where we question why we still care about humans. Because this week we watched Warriors of the Deep.
Written by Johnny Byrne.
Directed by Pennant Roberts.
And aired in January of 1984.
Johnny Byrne.
Feel the burn. I felt kind of burned after watching this, because it was painful.
Well, I mean, you also watched it like 1 a.m, so... Not a good serial to watch at 1 a.m.
No, not really. Yeah, well, after a super long shift.
Yeah, that anyway, too.
17-hour shift.
Anyway, it starts with...
I don't remember. I hated this serial. I'll just come out and say it. This serial sucked. Large.
I don't think I hated this as much as you.
Okay.
I just thought it was...
bad.
Bland and tasteless.
Like sea devil flesh. Just kidding.
You know what sea devil flesh tastes like?
Well, no, but anyway, just sort of an interesting little anecdote. I heard that song, that song Earth Angel?
Yeah.
I heard that song this week, and I immediately had this epiphany, like, wait a minute, Earth Angel, Sea Devil. So I started singing it, replacing Earth Angel with Sea Devil. And yeah, that was pretty funny. That was probably the most entertaining part of this serial.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not gonna do it.
Jeez. Okay, wow. Anyway.
You got the Apple Watch.
I've had this since Christmas.
Oh, well, I never noticed it until right now. Probably shouldn't have even mentioned it, but yeah, whatever.
Anyway, it starts with some nonsense.
I don't remember.
I think it starts on the base, and they're like, oh man, we're at red alert for these missiles. They're doing this thing, and it turns out it's a computer simulation. Apparently, for whatever reason on this base, that you can never tell if it's a computer simulation or if it's actual missiles being launched until you've completed the exercise.
I mean, that's one way to go about it.
I'm not really sure.
It makes you give your all each time.
I don't know what it's supposed to accomplish.
It's like, if you know it's just an exercise, it'd be like, yeah, whatever, I can just fail. It doesn't matter.
But what if it's real and you think it's just a computer simulation?
Exactly.
But
that's the point. Like, you have to think it's real every time.
Yeah, but you don't know if it's real. So what if it's real and you just take a guess one time and you're like, yeah, it's probably a simulation, and you just slack off for that one time that it's real.
Then you wouldn't do that. That's why you wouldn't do that. That's like.
But I'm saying, like, in this situation where you'd never know. What if you just guess?
Because you'd never know, so you wouldn't guess. You just think that it's real every single time.
I don't think you'd necessarily think it's real every time.
I would. Like, I don't want to die just in case it's not. Like, that's kind of the point there. I mean, if you want to give it that 50-50 shot, then like go ahead.
6 months and every single week there's a computer simulation. It's like The Boy Who Cried Wolf. If every single time's a computer simulation, wouldn't you just eventually assume that it's a simulation?
No, because then you might die.
I mean, you would die if it was too. Like, aren't they not allowed to communicate with this? Anyway. Aren't they not allowed to communicate with the surface at all? So like, they're basically isolated from humanity anyway.
I don't know. Like, I didn't follow this serial at all.
Like, there's a line later where like, we gotta communicate with the Earth, and like, you know what that means, right? Everyone will know what this base is for and will get killed or whatever. So it's like, why do you even care?
Because I mean, you probably don't want to die in a huge explosion.
You're underwater.
Missiles.
No one even knows the base exists.
I thought they were in space.
They're underwater. It's a sea base. It's Sea Base 4.
Okay, I thought they were in space. I didn't know.
Sea Devils in space?
Yeah, I thought this whole thing was in space.
No, it's all underwater in a base that apparently no one knows about, and that if they communicate with the surface, they'll all be killed because it's not supposed to exist. Or at least that's my understanding of these haphazard lines of dialogue. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They tried to, like, have this interesting dialogue that felt natural and stuff, but I don't know. It didn't really work at all. And I tried to make all the characters, like, really interesting with these different, like, motives or whatever, and everyone was, like, backstabbing each other, but, like, it also didn't work.
Yeah, well, now we cut to Silurians underwater talking in pseudo-Dalek voice. They seem to have completely forgotten how the Sea Devils and Silurians talk.
Well, I have two, so it's okay.
So, well, except the Sea Devils sounded just like the Ice Warriors. Like, hey, that's not.
Yeah, they did.
And also, the Silurian masks don't move in this serial, so they just turned the third eye, into like a Dalek light.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. But we don't get the Silurian vision.
Yeah.
So that was pretty not cool.
Then we cut to the Dr. Tegan and Turlo, and the doctor's like, so I guess you've decided not to go home, Turlo. And Turlo's like, yeah.
Yeah, so, yet again, can't say I'm surprised.
Well, they had to, like, wipe away that plot thread that they introduced. They need to stop introducing these threads about the going somewhere specific and then just not doing it.
Yeah, they should stop that.
Although I guess when they do that, it's more of a surprise, like in Five Doctors when they actually do it.
Yeah, but it's also kind of lame in Five Doctors. So it was like, I don't know, they kind of just went... it wasn't that lame, but... I liked it.
They're like, well, I told Tegan I was going to show her some of Earth's future, so let's go. Then they ended up in space, and there was a space probe that was like, identify yourself or you'll be destroyed. And the doc's like, we've just got the wrong coordinates, just give us like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And
they don't want to give them 2 minutes.
Yeah, the doctor frantically flips some switches and they materialize in the sea base, which is underwater, not in space. It's a sea base. And they're like, well, let's
like
explore.
Everything's in space.
I mean, I guess. Depending on how you define space, actually. If you define space as everything, then yeah, everything's in space. But if you define space as not on Earth, then no, not everything is in space.
Like just Earth is in space, like everything else is?
Yeah, if you define space as anything that's not on Earth, then...
Like Earth is in space, too.
But only if you define space as everything. If you defined space as everything that's not on Earth, then Earth wouldn't be in space.
But it's like floating in space.
It's only floating in space if you define space as the empty nothingness that Earth sits in.
What?
It depends how you define space.
I'm pretty sure it's in space. Pretty sure if you go ask you, like, hey, is Earth in space? Like, yeah, it pretty much is.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Earth is pretty much in space. Like, there's...
That's why I'm saying if you define space as anything that's not Earth, then Earth isn't in space. Like, if you define my house as everything that's not in this garage, then this garage isn't in my house.
This garage isn't in your house.
You're clearly missing my point.
It's like not even attached.
You're totally missing my point.
Your point doesn't make any sense.
You're missing my point.
Clearly this serial sucks because we're not talking about it at all.
My point makes perfect sense.
No, it really doesn't at all.
No, it does.
No, it pretty much doesn't.
No, it does.
No, not really.
Yeah, it does.
No, it really doesn't.
It really does.
No, it doesn't.
It's just you who doesn't understand it. And
no,
for that, I'm sorry. I feel sorry for you.
Does understand it, and
I
like
feel
everyone
sorry
else
for you,
doesn't.
Keon. I'm sorry you don't understand my point.
It's just a shame.
It's shame for you.
Shame for you.
I said it first, so clearly I'm right.
Well, times 1,000. Ha!
Well, the doctor does some nonsense and gets shoved into some radioactive water.
And Turtle's just like, he's dead, let's leave.
Just skip everything else in episode 1 because it's not important.
Yeah, I don't know why Turlo was like, he's dead, Tegan.
Well, because he floats...
He floats to the surface, but like, he was clearly just Obi-Wan in episode 3. When he's on Utapau, and Grievous thinks he's dead.
I honestly don't even know what you're talking about right now.
Well,
It's
you
been
only
so
watched
long.
episode
Yeah, I've only
3
seen episode 3
right?
once, so...
I guess we're gonna watch that for triple play at some point. So
Yeah, next year. We've already planned what month it is. So in episode 2, the Doctor just swims to the bottom of the ocean. In episode 1, he was
he
like...
swims to the bottom.
Okay,
I
the
just
bottom
do
of
that
the
in my
water
free
tank.
time.
Bottom of
Just
the water
dive
tank.
in.
There's people that do that.
Well, I don't go all the way to the bottom, but yeah, that's skin diving, which is like pretty impressive. They go like all the way, not all the way down, but like pretty far down without any gear, and like hold their breath for 30 minutes.
Because in episode 1, he was like, I'm going to damage the reactor, and then that'll give us time to escape. And they show up, and they're like, we're going to kill you. In episode 2, he gets out of the water, and
Can we
Tegan
just
and
summarize all of this in like 5 minutes? It's really just a bunch of running around.
Well, so the Tegan and Turlo get separated because a door closes between them, and they're like, oh no. Turlo gets captured, and
Yeah, by the way, I was really disappointed with the setting of this serial because all in this base, and like the previous Sea Devil and Silurian serials were like in pretty cool places and like switched up the locations a bit, and here it was just in this generic looking. I thought it was a spaceship, but I guess it wasn't. But
it's a sea base.
Yeah, it was a base, so like still a pretty generic looking piece of garbage there.
Piece of garbage.
Yeah, it looked not that great.
Yeah, the control room looked pretty good. The control room was pretty good. All those switches and the computers and all those hard drives that Maddox was putting in for whatever reason. I don't really know what Maddox was doing.
Yeah, Maddox was like controlled by a little thing, a little disc.
Yeah, that
Then,
like
like,
brainwashed
He
him.
was, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what Maddox was doing at all. I don't know what any of them were doing.
It's Dr. Solo, and her cohort, whatever his name was, doesn't matter because he dies, are controlling Maddox because they want to escape the base, I guess.
But then they're also, I don't know, they were also against each other, but then they weren't, and then they were. And then Maddox showed up, and they're like, we have to kill you, Maddox.
Well, because whatever the heck his name, Vostok, I don't care, wasn't in on the Maddox plan, and he shows up and he's like, what have you done with Maddox? Because okay, so they have this weird computer system on the base that like has to be controlled by a human called a sync operator, and Maddox was the sync operator for the
It's a sink.
base.
The computer is just a basin.
And Maddox is like, what if I'm not good enough? What if the computer fries my brain? And Karina's like, no, you'll be fine. Anyway, they kill Karina. Because they mind control Maddox, and Karina's like, no, what have you done? And they're like, we gotta kill Karina, she knows. Then they like hide her body in a closet, I guess. And then they interrogate Turlo, and he's like, the Doctor was only damaging the reactor to give us time to escape. If he wanted to blow up the reactor, you'd all be dead right now. And they're like, good point. And the Doctor comes in with Tegan. Well, Tegan waits outside, and he comes in and is like, hello, it's me, the Doctor. The Sea Devils are attacking your base. Because between all this, there's been cuts of Silurians and Sea Devils launching ships and blowing things up and doing some
The
nonsense.
Silurians
Wake
revived
the Sea Devils. Then had the clunkiest line of dialogue ever, like, welcome back, our blood brothers.
Yeah, I like that line. It was our blood-related comrades.
That just makes it even worse.
Comrades, because they're British.
Just makes it even worse.
But yeah, there was also, the Sea Devils also had the clunkiest walking ever. Not sure how they killed so many people.
Well, because they're practically invincible, that's why.
And they showed up wearing those sick Shogun helmets for absolutely no reason.
They're samurai now. I don't
like
remember
that
how
guy
episode
in
2
the new
ends.
Rogue One trailer.
Well, he was pretty awesome.
Yeah, he was pretty cool.
Sea Devils.
Still not gonna watch the movie though.
Sea Devils were less
Just a little
awesome.
better. I'm just kidding. Just maybe one notch higher on the scale now.
What is this scale?
It's a scale of samurai guy to sea devils.
So
There's only two notches.
The scale consists of 2 notches. Wow. So, I don't remember how episode 2 ends, but I think it ends. Oh, it ends with them in the.
Disappointingly.
They're in
like
the
rest of
airlock.
this.
They're in the airlock, and the Merca busts down a
the
door,
Merc.
and it falls on Tegan. She's like, trapped under a door.
Yeah, the Mercer was pretty hilarious.
The Merca was awesome in concept and terrible in execution.
Yeah, it was basically a sea devil horse.
Well, they hyped it up to be this big bad, and they're like, it's gonna be awesome, he's coming in, he's gonna wipe them all out, and it shows up in like a dinky 2-person horse costume that they just taped a sea devil helmet to face. Anyway, in episode 3, it steps on the door, which somehow helps the Doctor lift it, and you can tell it's like a piece of plastic.
Like that ventilation shaft. Great that Turlo was trying to take off later on. Where he goes like, ugh, and he rips out of the wall, and he goes like flying back because it's probably only 1/4 of a pound.
So the Merca comes in and starts electrocuting some people because it has that power.
If you touch the Mercury, you die.
It's like the ambassadors of death.
But it's like, wait, not really that OP because it's like super slow and clunky.
Well, it can electrocute metal that's connected to people, which it does. Like 2 seconds and there's 4 people, and they just run into a dead end for some reason, and the Merca just electrocutes the floor, and they all die, and it's actually kind of uncomfortable because they all scream like ah, and then you see them die, and it's like okay, it's okay because the Doctor kills the Merca, so.
Yeah, there was that one lady who, like, I guess wasn't in the right place, and you see her, like, shuffle into place before she gets electrocuted. What if they just really electrocuted them? 4 people died in the making of this. Well, I'm glad we're having so much fun with this serial, because it really wasn't fun watching it.
Well, the Doctor comes in and they're like, why should we believe you? And he's like, because I can defeat the Merca. And the guy's like, well, okay, when you put it like that.
I mean, alright. If you say so.
So he takes second in command lady. Name doesn't matter because she also dies. And they get some sort of UV lamp. Some oversized, overpowered UV lamp. They just hook up to the wall and they're like, well, the Merca will come this way eventually. And they spend the next 10 minutes of the serial waiting for the Merca to come. So next part of the serial is just shots of the Merca killing people, and then the shot of the Captain and Turlo trying to kill some sea devils and failing.
And then at the end, there's like this giant massacre.
Yeah, except this is better than the massacre.
Yeah, slightly. This massacre is still the worst Doctor Who serial ever, so this wasn't that bad, thankfully. But it still sucked.
It was bad, but it wasn't that bad. So the Merca comes rumbling down the corridor. It's like, here I come.
V5, no.
Real slow, walking really uncoordinated. I don't know who's in that horse costume, but they should be fired.
Maybe it was a real horse.
No animals were harmed in the making of this
Except that horse.
serial. Except those sea devils, those Silurians.
Well, they're not. Are they? I guess they're animals.
Well, humans are animals.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Doctor flips on the lamp and is like, make a wish, Tegan. Which I guess is supposed to be foreshadowing for later.
Yeah, but I don't know. It seems a bit contrived if that's the case. It's like just a little throw-in line for later, but
I liked it the first time. I actually thought it was kind of interesting. It's like, okay, that's kind of neat. But then they bring it back later. I'm like, well, that's contrived. Anyway, kills the Merc. So
Yeah.
Fifth Doctor Fifth Doctor actually racks up his body count in this episode by a lot. So they head into the control room where
Some
what's his
stuff
name?
is happening.
Yeah, the commander's
Everyone's
yeah.
backstabbing everyone else.
Well, Doctor Solo, whatever the hell,
Gets killed by
the
Kylo.
She gets killed by the Merca. And then some guys find the command chip for Maddox and they bring it to what's his name, who's working with the Doctor, and they're like, look at this. And he's like, oh no, they've controlled Maddox. And then the guy who was controlling Maddox with Salu is like, well, I have to kill you now. Vostok. And he's like, no, please don't.
No.
Then they
So yeah, this was definitely the saddest death in Doctor Who. I
well,
cried.
he doesn't die.
He dies later.
Yeah, later.
Well, I don't remember what happened. I don't know.
Well, the controller dude
I stopped paying attention at this point. I was like, I really don't care about any of this.
The controller dude kidnaps Tegan and runs away, and the Doctor goes after him, and then he flips on the light and blinds him. He's like, ah! Then he gets shot by some sea devils who are marching through the corridor. And then they're marching to the command room, and they're like, well, Doctor, we meet again. And the Doctor's like, yep, it's a me. I was in a previous incarnation last time you met me, but now I'm me.
And then the Silurian's like, yeah, we decided not to coexist with humans. We decided to just kill all of them.
Yeah, but apparently
seems like a better idea.
Their culture forbids war, so what they're gonna do is make the humans destroy themselves by launching the missiles and then kind of just letting everything take its course.
You know what? They should have just succeeded. I was on their side.
So was the Doctor. So later on, the humans like, we should kill all the sea devils, and the Doctor's like, I don't know why I care about you humans so damn much. So all you ever want to do is kill everyone. I don't really care about you at all.
You should kick off Tegan and just travel with Turlo, because he's not human and he hates Earth.
And then Turlo was like, yeah, well, not killing them still doesn't change the fact that they're about to kill all the humans. And the Doctor's like, God damn it.
It's like, oh, dang, guess we have to kill all of them then.
Well, the Doctor's... We, skipped ahead a bit. The Doctor escapes the... whatever, and he makes it to the chemical storage, and he's like, well, we gotta find something that'll incapacitate them. Whoops.
So they use hexachromide.
And it kills them, though. Well, they find out it kills them because
they use it and it kills them.
Sea Devil comes in and shoots at the Doctor and accidentally shoots the gas and it vents into the room, and the Sea Devil dies in the most gruesome death so far. She just lies on the ground and then green ooze comes out of his eyes.
Yeah, so they are keeping up the trend of green goo coming out of people's faces.
Great, because that's the trend I wanted to keep up. Funny that happened in Arc of Infinity too, that Johnny Byrne also wrote. Well, so they vented into the ventilation shaft. We forgot the whole scene with Turlo escaping, but no one really cares about that.
No.
Turlo tries to get Tegan back to the TARDIS, like, there's no way we can save the Doctor from here. And Tegan's like, no, screw you. And then Tegan's like, oh, fine.
So they go do a bunch of stuff, and there's a big shootout at the end. Everyone dies.
Well, they're all getting gassed. And then
they make,
Vostok has this really emotional
they make
death.
They make this
They make a
reference,
Nazi reference.
Because the Silurians call their plan the final solution.
Yeah, so that's a casual Nazi.
Oh, Jesus.
The Doctor's like, well, I'm not really okay with that, so...
So die.
Well, he tries to save him. He tries to tell him to leave, because otherwise they'll all die, and they're like, there will be other Silurians to take our place. And the Doctor's like, oh, didn't think about that. So then
that's okay, because that's only in the audio dramas.
And the reboot. Tegan and Turlo try to give the Silurians oxygen under the Doctor's commands. And then one of them wakes up and shoots Vostok, or whatever the hell his name was. And he doesn't die immediately because he's helping the Doctor do the sync command to stop the missiles. And then he dies, and he's like, ugh! And then Turlo just executes the Silurian. He takes the Silurian with a gun and just shoots the Silurian at point blank range. And then it just collapses on the floor and dies. They just don't talk about it because it happens like in the bottom right of the screen where they assume no one's looking.
Just in the background.
But I saw
what you did, Turlo.
I saw Turlo commit this act of war, this war crime. The doctor doesn't have to know. Don't worry, Turlo, we won't tell him.
I'll tell him. No, I'm not going to tell him.
The doctor will show him like, did Turlo execute someone?
Nope.
Anyway, the serial ends with the Doctor, Tegan, and Turlo standing in the control room. Everyone else is dead except for Bulik in the gas room. And they're like, there should have been another way. And then it ends on a really somber note, and it just ends.
Yeah, I felt like there could have been some music right where it ended. Because I don't know, it felt like... He just says, like, yeah, there should have been another way. And I felt there could have been, like, some music there. Would have made it a little bit better, maybe.
No, I feel like it was more impactful without the music.
I didn't think it was impactful at all. I don't think it would have been impactful with the music, but, like, it might have been a little bit better with the music.
I mean, the serial is pretty obviously an allegory for the Cold War.
Okay.
Well, with the whole launching missiles at each other, wiping out the world, yeah, that's the Cold War. That's the Cold War.
If you say so.
Do you not know the history of the Cold War? That's pretty much the Cold War to a T.
All right, well, okay.
So I guess they're trying to be all anti-war and anti-nuclear missiles.
No, they're trying to be pro-war.
That would be interesting. Ryder comes in and writes a pro-war Doctor Who serial.
Yeah.
Serial's pretty bad.
Yeah. This is the underworld of the Fifth Doctor, the massacre of the Fifth Doctor, the space pirates of the Fifth Doctor.
The Monster of Peladon.
That wasn't...
Monster of Peladon was terrible, and you know it.
Not really.
It was pretty bad.
It wasn't like...
It was bad.
It wasn't this
I hated
level.
it. Yeah, it was. I honestly think it was worse than this.
No.
Yes.
No.
This should have happened last season, though, when they were doing all the throwbacks, because that would have made more sense.
Yeah, it should have.
But no!
So, I mean, hopefully they just threw the worst one in first here with this season.
Well, I think so. Because Caves of Androzani is held in pretty high regard, I think.
Doesn't mean that we'll like it.
I think we will. It's a Robert Holmes serial.
Doesn't mean that we'll like it.
We've liked pretty much every Robert Holmes story so far.
Doesn't mean that we'll like it.
I think the only one we didn't really like was the Crotons.
Still doesn't mean that we'll like it.
I mean, it doesn't, but it does indicate that there's a high likelihood that we'll like it.
Yeah, I guess, but it doesn't mean that we'll like it.
I didn't say that we'd like it.
I didn't say that you said we'll like it.
Just said it's held in high regard.
Yeah, I really don't know what I can say about this serial other than that I'm never going to watch it again.
Well, I mean, are you going to watch any serial we've watched so far again?
Yeah. Eventually.
When?
Eventually.
We're watching
Probably.
so many serials for the podcast already.
When we catch up with the show, I might go back and watch a couple of the ones I liked.
When we catch up.
I might go back and watch a couple of the ones I liked.
And when we catch up 2 years from now.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to go back and rewatch stuff I just watched a couple weeks ago.
Well, whatever.
Yeah, that was my response to this entire serial. Yeah, whatever.
Just shove this serial in the back of our minds and bring it up in the retrospective is what not to do. Anyway, email us at thedoctor@decorativevegetable.com. Questions, comments, concerns, angry rants, love letters, better Sea Devil and Silurian stories.
I mean, yeah, just go ahead and write one yourself. It'll be better than this one. Like, it doesn't matter what you write. It will be better.
No, you can find us, that's what I meant to say, on iTunes, YouTube, and Google Play, all at Trust Your Doctor. And the website is decorativevegetable.com.
Right, check us out on Facebook, Trust Your Doctor. Like us on Facebook, check us out on Twitter at TYD Podcast, and follow us on Twitter. And next week, we watch the, hopefully better, The Awakening. But until then, the end.